We are
Linda.
live streaming.
Are we?
Yes.
So it went straight through.
Yep.
Wow. It's almost, you know what? We're 1 minute in, so we can chat for a second. We're waiting for other people to come in, but I love the song. I love
Okay.
it. Renee with Mr. Barrow, Lisa, and
I got my little sombrero on. We got our maracas. Yes. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenidos. Estoy aprendiendo español. So here she is.
bene, anche sto bene.
Lisa Logan Briggs.
Right. Wait, are y'all ready?
Yes,
We're ready.
we are
Hold
ready.
on.
Oh gosh, all right.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, we love it. Thank you so much for that. Yes. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
My everyone. Awesome.
Bienvenidos.
Let's see.
Muchas gracias, Jean.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear the music?
Gracias.
No, can't hear the music, but it's fun pictures anyway.
Yes. Looks great.
Love it. Love it.
Jean, where's your mariachi guitar?
He don't have one.
Yeah.
All I have is a ukulele in the other room. I can't pass that off.
I love it. Not ukulele today.
Not today.
Jennifer Drake, welcome. It's a special time today, Cinco de Mayo. We're getting ready to start our power hour. I have a great episode for all of you ladies and beautiful gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Handsome gentlemen that go through andropause every 24 hours. You have a period too. So anyway, Veronica, take it away.
All right. It is top of the hour. I want to welcome everybody here this evening. I am so happy to have everybody. I want to wish everybody a happy Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. It's amazing. We have a lot of things coming up this week. Super excited about that. Hey, and you know what? We're brought to you by New You Life. Balance your hormones, balance your life. And our signature product, Somaderm. So for all you ladies out there, you know what? Don't forget to scan the QR code on our Power Hour, because for the next 100 people who sign up on our Facebook page, your name is going to go in for that amazing romance libido package. And we are so excited to give another one away. We are on our way to number 600. So that's amazing too. So then our 800 number, if you check out on our screen, we also have 877-77 New You Life. That's 877-776-3985. Call us, ladies. Get on live on our podcast. And I want to welcome my beautiful co-hosts, Renee Rand and Lisa Griggs, here this evening. I want to welcome all you other ladies and our amazing IT guy, Jean. You are so amazing. Love that. Make sure, ladies, you have you're on gallery view to check everybody's smiling faces out. And we love to see everybody, those beautiful smiling faces, and helping all the women go through menopause and having men jump on Menopause Monday to find out and understand what their woman is going through, or their partner or their wife. So today's topic, you know what, we have our really things that we always talk about, but we're going to dive deeper into symptoms of menopause. So menopause symptoms, they can be diverse and vary from women to women, but commonly include hot flashes, night sweats, sleep disturbances, mood changes. Other common symptoms include vaginal dryness. Yes, we did say vaginal. Low libido, changes in cognitive function like memory problems, brain fog. Some women also experience physical changes such as weight gain, muscle aches, and joint pains. Now, when we get into our the diving deep into this, I found some really interesting symptoms that I would have never thought. And I know I was running this by and I was researching, and I was really shocked at other common symptoms that are, tingling in the extremities, breast tenderness, headaches, and migraines. And here's a good one: formication, not fornication, formication. Formication is a sensation of insects crawling on your skin. Who would have thought?
Ugh.
No. I don't like insects. But I know that, Renee, I know you were researching some of the things that came up for you. If you want to speak into that.
I do. And Jennifer, thank you for hopping on today. Jennifer and I just really met yesterday and really connected. And so glad to have you here, Jennifer, for sure. Drier eyes was something that came up. I've never been a person that had to use eye drops or had any challenges other than, my prescription changing, the more CBD I was on, my eyes got better. So it was a little different than it was before. But drier eyes, I have noticed a real itchy sensation. So that's one that I didn't realize was, connected to our menopause or our postmenopause. Getting hair in places that you've never had hair before. Okay. I've always had one hair that pops out, that ends up being one day it's not there, the next day it's 3 inches long. And I know that's a hair wrapped up in the follicle and it finally pops out. But I mean, I have no leg hair. I've never had leg hair. I've never, all these different things that happen that you don't realize. But actually growing body hair on your body when you've never had that before. And so with the hormone changes going on in your body, remember, balance your hormones, balance your life. So a lot of these weird symptoms are going to go away when you get your hormones balanced. We have over 50 hormones in our body, and when we turn 30, they stop producing the way they did before. So, of course, we use our somaderm in order to stimulate our pituitary gland to start producing our own hormones again and start balancing the things out that we need to balance in our life. Another one was, weight. I know people have challenges with weight gain, and if they're dieting or they're following a strict diet, the shape of their body shifts during menopause. And this can be really stressful for people, especially fit people that are used to working out or, hiking or doing the things that you normally love to do. And all of a sudden, maybe your stomach gets bloated or starts changing the shape. Or maybe your hips and your thighs get bigger, and that's never happened to you before. So as all these different things happen, you have to realize that these things, there were over 80 things on the list of symptoms with menopause. So, we're thinking the usual ones. Well, today we're kind of talking about the more unusual ones. Another one was tingly sensations, not just the ants crawling on you that Veronica was talking about, but tingly sensations. And I relate it to when I used to have neuropathy for my diabetes, which I don't experience that anymore, but I would relate that tingly sensation to that sensation that maybe you're feeling that you haven't had before. Another one is shaky voice. If anybody's noticing that maybe when you're talking, or I know I'm talking to someone in my family, and all of a sudden I notice their voice is a little shakier or shaky, I'll ask them, is their blood sugar too low? Or, are they feeling okay? Or because those are symptoms that I noticed when my blood sugar would drop. But I never thought about it being related to menopause. So another one that just popped up, change in body odor. That's something that we don't think about. And I know my daughter had said before that she had been with friends that she noticed that the older they got, that their body odor changed. And she noticed because she works out a lot and she works out with a lot of different people. So she said she noticed that was one. And then not only hot flashes, but cold flashes was another one on the list. So maybe you're fighting with hot flashes, but maybe you're also getting the chills. Veronica, when she was in my house in Las Vegas, she was freezing all the time. So, cold flashes would be another less probably, thought about one. And what was metallic taste in the mouth. Your taste for different foods might change. So where you loved something before, you may have a different taste for that particular food. There are things that I used to eat that I don't even think about anymore because they don't have the same taste. So when I read this for other symptoms of menopause, I said, wow, Well, that's probably one of the things that I didn't know before. So, those were just some of the ones. And I know you guys had some other ones on your list too.
Yeah, I wanted to say I have a couple, and those were all very good. The three ones that I wrote down was smell and taste altered, like your senses. So I think you were kind of getting up on that a little bit, Renee. The perception of our smell, changes, or maybe our hearing might even change.
Right.
Even our vision. I've noticed at times, even though I'm going to be 52 this month, woo, I still get my cycle. I don't want to be that woman that gets my cycle till I'm 100 years old. We talk about it a lot on this show. But that was a big one that I wrote down. And then also burning mouth sensation. And the other one is changes in, again, your hearing or just, your smell, different things like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. I know that there are 80 symptoms.
Oh, yeah,
there's a lot that we don't hear about a lot, but I see them in the groups. I see women saying, oh my gosh, has anybody ever struggled with this? Ellie Goldstein has joined us. And I want to mention something really quick for those of you that are on this call. There is a real huge crisis. That is why Renee and Veronica and I put this together with Gene Beard, who is basically runs all of our admin and does all our tech. He's also a hormone health hero. Has branded himself as that because he's learned so much just from being around Ellie Goldstein. And so I want to bring him in real quick. Elliot, thank you for joining us today. I want you to speak into the women's lives today about this amazing solution that we have, because we figured out very quickly that, wow, there's a lot of women in crisis that are suffering. 1 billion women on our planet right now, this year, 2025, are experiencing one of these 80 symptoms. And many women don't even realize that these are symptoms related to hormone health and their menopause. And there is a huge myth that once you make it through menopause, oh, I'm done. I've talked to so many women that are like, oh, I've already made it through menopause. I don't need any of that stuff anymore. And that's a huge myth, because you actually have more to be concerned with regard to your health on the other side of menopause, because your cells need estrogen. And when you make it to the other side of menopause, your cells don't have estrogen. So, this gentleman has helped put a product together that is such a solution for women. And it wasn't made for women. It was actually made for men. Figure that. But women, have taken to this product, Ellie, and we're so grateful that it's in the space, but we want more women to know about this product. And that's one of the reasons that we've put this Power Hour together. Can you talk to us a little bit about growing young with HGH and what Somaderm can do for the women on this call?
So, yes. And thank you for having me, Lisa, Veronica, Renee. Once again, happy Cinco de Mayo. All right. Yeah. All right. So, first of all, we know that hormones are kind of the ruler of what happens systematically in your body. HGH is that master hormone. And I want you to think of the tree of life when I'm talking about this, where the master hormone is on top, and then you have your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. They fall under the tree. And the reason they fall under the tree, no development of any glands or anything would happen without HGH. When you're in your infantile stages, this is where the maximum amount of HGH is secreted and used by the bodies. This is what builds our bone structure, our internal organs, our brain development, as well as all the other hormones as well. And I mean, you guys were just talking about your body's thermostat, which is due to your hypothalamus, another gland that secretes hormone, right? So, and then you were talking about taste changing. That's an estrogenic thing that happens. But the thing is that what Lisa was talking about, when you get to the other side of things, what really occurs after your menstrual cycle stops? Well, your bones get brittle. You tend to lose muscle mass. Your circulation doesn't flow as good. Your thought process tends to slow down a little bit, or you get distracted very easy. These are all elements of hormone fluctuations or lack of hormones happening within your system. So when you talk about these things, yes, hormones play a big role in just about every facet of life. I was just listening, who's that motivational speaker has you walk on lava rocks? Tony Robbins,
Anthony Robbins.
right? So Anthony Robbins now is talking about hormone health all the time, right? When you start getting big players in this and you're starting to see science come about with this, and you're seeing more of these hormone clinics, more of these options to get these treatments done, it's great. But the problem with hormone treatment therapy, when you go in for a single hormone treatment therapy rather than looking for a hormone balance, is that you're pushing hormones in one direction only, right? And your brain is a very smart mechanism in our body. It recognizes that you're pushing hormones into your body, and it feels like it doesn't have to make these hormones anymore because you're putting it in exogenously at amounts your body would never create in the first place. So when you use Somaderm, that's a natural occurrence. It's your brain talking to your glands to help secrete the proper amount to keep you healthy. And that's where the lack of side effects comes in a treatment like Somaderm as compared to a modality like HRT. And then the long-term benefits of training your brain to get these glands secreted is another benefit as you go through the aging process. And I always say this to people, Somaderm meets you where you're at. If you're 30, it will meet your hormones levels there. If you're 40, 50, 60, it meets you where you're at in life. And it gives your body the mechanism to really start talking to each other in the proper channels that help these hormones not only secrete, but secrete in a balanced fashion. So you got me to talk about it, Lisa.
Yeah, I love it. Veronica, do you want to say anything into that, or?
I had a thought, but I forgot it.
See? Put some more Somaderm on you.
But I know what it was. I've noticed being on the product over a little over a year now that, you know, these gradual things that happen, but I have people saying to me now, wow, you look amazing. Wow, you look at you. You look good. You look, you know, you lost weight. Your skin looks fabulous. I'm also using Rose and Coal. So I've been faithfully using that for a month now, and I've seen the subtle changes, but it's people coming up to me and saying something now, which I mean I think is amazing. And without going into it, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then finally letting them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I mean, I absolutely love it. And I just had all blood work done this week. I have to say, my A1C is down to a 5.5, and it was way up. And that was just using Somaderm alone. And my blood work is absolutely beautiful. It really is. Everything's all in range for everything.
And it's funny that you say that because HGH is a process that works with like A1C levels and blood sugar levels. It really helps your pancreas, but not only your pancreas secrete more insulin, it helps with the beta cells accepting that insulin and being able to utilize that glucose and turn that into an energy factory rather than a sugar factory, right? That's what, but it takes time, like you said, with that conversion. When people with advanced sugar levels start to use this, they may feel a spike at first, but 2 or 3 weeks into the process, they'll see a leveling out of that. And that's just the body adjusting to the hormone fluctuation.
Yeah, my body loves me right now.
We love you too.
Yeah.
Oh, we all love you, Ellie. You're so amazing. You give us So much information. You really do. Right back at you, Lisa. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm always so appreciative, Ellie, when you get on here because you're just the way that you simplify this concept, which could be, it could be very difficult to understand because there's so many hormones in the body. I didn't know anything about hormone health at all last year when I also got on the Somaderm. And then additionally, the Tri-MLT, we kind of all have our favorite products that we like to use, but it's just opened up my viewpoint of hormone health and the way HGH works in the body. And I'm just so grateful. I love too this delivery system because there's no delivery system like it. So I think that's what separates it from what everything else that's out there, which I think is a beautiful thing as well. So thank you so much for just, being with us today and sharing with us why this product is so special for men and women. I think that everyone needs to be on this product, certainly that's over the age of 30, for certain. I'd like to open up, since we have Ellie here, I'd love to open it up just also too, if any of you ladies or gentlemen that are on have questions. I know Jean's tracking our Facebook and our YouTube live right now. I don't know if the questions are coming in, but we certainly want to be able to answer your questions. Linda, Trudy, if you have a question, Trixie, I see you on, Jennifer, I know you're new. You just met Renee yesterday. Thank you for being on. Michelle, if you have any questions for Ellie, this is definitely the time to unmute and chime in because we want to make sure we get your questions answered.
Can I say something, Lisa, real quick? Now, I'm going to preface this as I usually do. Do I know what you guys go through? Absolutely not. I have no idea. And Jean has no idea either. I don't know what a hot flash is. I don't see a lot of the systematic things that happen with perimenopause and postmenopausal. We have andropause, and we use basically one hormone, which is testosterone. I don't get imbalances in estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, and everything that happens through the 3 periods of time I'm talking about. But I'm a science guy. I'm a true science guy. And I have 37 years, if not more, of application experience, having my own businesses and helping people throughout their life cycles as well. So I've seen what works for women, and I've seen what doesn't work for women. And Somaderm is one of those things. Look, you cannot sell 10 million bottles in 7 years and not have the product work, right? It's virtually impossible. And that's what I talk about application experience, right? We can read and read and read about stuff, but until you try it, you never know what's going to happen. Now we do because of the large sample group that we've had over the last 7 years. So the product has proven its track record. And don't forget about this product. We're talking about 7 years. This product has been around 22 years in total. So there was a track record, and Alexi and I knew that track record prior to starting New You Life. That's why there was some apprehension among people when joining the company. We were positive that people will get results, but they weren't positive. And the way he started the company by just handing some of our US leaders bottles and didn't tell them a word about the product. He said, just try it. Tell me what you feel. And he gave them a 3-month supply. And within 30 days, he was getting massive orders from those distributors that wanted to share it with other people. So the proof is always in the pudding. Application experience is really going to trump all, even more so than science, because science doesn't take into consideration each individual and where they are at their stages of life. So the only way to really leapfrog that is to have that application experience. And we had it before we even started this entity, New You Life.
Yeah, the first time I tried the product, Ellie, I felt like I was having an outer body experience. I didn't know what to call it. later found out that that was homeostasis and that my body was going into homeostasis very quickly. And because I have in the past have had issues with, anxiety and this fight or flight of being in survival mode, my body just naturally would be in that sympathetic nervous system all the time. And I love that this product can put your body into the parasympathetic nervous system because it has that ability to calm us and to just balance us. And maybe that's the whole part that Veronica talks about all the time, balancing and optimizing our hormones. And as we do that, it brings this very grounded feeling to us. It's really almost supernatural. Like, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, serotonin and dopamine are two hormones that really plays a huge fact into how we deal with things on a daily basis, right? And understanding how it's not the information coming in, it's how we handle the information. And if your serotonin and dopamine levels are balanced, well, you're not a quick reactor. If your cortisol levels are through the roof, you're going to get pissed off and throw something across the room, right? Which I've been known to do at times, but in a very gentle way. So, understanding everybody at some point of life has been there. Frustration, and if you notice when you get those frustrating points, you notice your thought process just goes in the garbage. It really does. And your rationale and everything like that. And you're saying things that you really don't mean that. And that is your hormones really taking control of what's going on, and having this balance allows you to stay level-headed where you don't bite into that as a human being. And it's real important because what you're doing is you're saving yourself, and it's not the other person I'm worried about, because what will happen is you'll react and then you'll feel bad, right? It's human nature, and feeling bad is the worst part of that. But if you're a balanced person and your hormones are balanced, your trigger reaction won't work as I would say as strong as it would. You're able to think about the process a little clearer and know how to react to that process. That's a hormone reaction.
That's so awesome because, when you are highly emotional, we have a lot of emotions. I mean, obviously, Renee and myself and Veronica, and I know there's some other women on this call that are very passionate. And so because our passion is so high and our natural output of energy is very high, I think this product has been certainly a tremendous blessing in my life, because I noticed that even though I have a high output of energy, when I am more responsive and I'm in my parasympathetic nervous system, I can drop back, a little bit, be more responsive, because I know that if I'm triggered or if I'm overreacting to something, then I'm low logic. But I'm high logic, like you said, when I'm more in my parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a real game changer how that product does that, because now I understand why it's such the crown jewel, because that can be a game changer even in how we deal with relationships in our life, with people we work with people that we are, intimate with, our siblings, our, family, just it can really play into a lot of our everyday life, as you said. And just thank God for this product. I can't believe I didn't know about it 2 years ago, but I'm so glad that I know about it now. And we've just been on this big quest, to get it out there. Jean has a question. I think maybe it's from somebody online.
No, actually, I have a statement. I wanted to tattle on you a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if Renee and Veronica have noticed this, but Ellie, since Lisa's been on Somaderm, and I've worked with her very closely before Somaderm, since she's been on Somaderm, she does not have those knee-jerk reactions that I had to pull her back off the ledge many times. She's very focused now and driven, and if something goes wrong, she'll sit back and look at it, like she was saying. Those knee-jerk reactions, which I'm thankful for, more than she realizes. But but so that's just so great that that this has been a blessing for her, and just in that front alone, that she's able to walk up to obstacles differently and face them differently than she used to. So.
Absolutely. And it's not just walking up to the obstacles, Gene, it's how to maybe avoid some of the obstacles or how to deal with those road bumps. I think that's the more important part, is your reaction to that, because when you're in control of that and your hormones are balanced, the emotional feedback that you send through your body isn't as damaging, right? And it is emotional. And I think Trudy asked a question that I just saw, or made a statement about acne in this product. Just remember this, until you find that homeostasis, right? That balance with your body, that does not happen overnight. There might be some things that come about. Mexican wild yam is a DHEA precursor. DHEA could lead to elevated testosterone levels that can, in some people, cause acne, right? But it's generally temporary until that person finds that balance. And it may be, manipulating dosages a little bit. It may be drinking a little bit more water, because that's one of the key components. Hydration is such a key component when it comes to cellular action. Remember, glands secrete hormones. Hormones are transported through the bloodstream. Receptors grab those hormones and bring them into the cell for utilization, right? So that whole process has to work, and it doesn't work well when you're dehydrated. And one of the byproducts of that could be acne for somebody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, that was your question, Linda?
My experienced
Stress. Oh, go ahead, Linda. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just saying my daughter experienced that a bit. And of course, she wanted to get off it right away because of that. And I was trying to tell her it's probably just normalizing. So I'll get her back on it.
And how old is she?
She's 30, but she's got a lot of hormone issues, PC.
Okay. Start her off slow. Maybe one pump in the morning, one pump in the evening, right? And because some people have to lead into it. Some people need it so bad that they just get into full potency right away and they work really well with it. That's why we suggested that. We found that among most people. But some people like myself, I have to do morning dosages. I can't do afternoon or evening dosages because I don't sleep. I have such an energy level from it that I don't shut off. And so I found out over time that those 2 pumps in the morning work best for me.
Okay. I'll have her experiment a bit. I appreciate
it. Water. Have her drink water.
All right. Thank you.
I always stress, especially when I'm talking about the gel, is, like you said, we didn't get here overnight. So it takes time, and you want to at least do that 6 months to a year. I mean, really, to get the full benefits of this product. And I just find it very amazing. I really do. I know, Renee, you had something to say about Mother's Day coming up.
I do. And, I'm loving this sombrero because I can do the power of the positive nod, and it's a little bit more apparent. So I'm having fun with that today. No, it's so, I was thinking about Mother's Day and my experiences over the years with Mother's Day and my friends and how they relate with their families and what's going on in their families. And when a woman's going through menopause, she may need a lot more support, in her life during that time. And sometimes, there are family issues that come up. So I just want to do a shout out and say, everybody be nice to your moms for Mother's Day. They may be going through menopause. I found a couple more symptoms too that just came up. Peripheral vision. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't think that would be a big deal, but your side vision, that's really important. And then right under that, they were talking about menopause dizziness. Now, I noticed that when I get up from exercising. I noticed I didn't have that before. Like I would swim 100 laps a day, 50 in the morning and 50 at night. I didn't have any dizziness, but now when I'm just doing simple leg lifts, I'm not swimming right now because it's not warm enough in my pool yet. But when I'm doing simple leg lifts, I'm noticing that, a little bit of that dizziness. And then tinnitus was another thing on the list that we didn't bring up today. And so I just wanted to throw those three things in there. But be kind to your moms this week, or if you have friends or family that don't have anybody to celebrate that part of their womanhood, jump in there, be kind, share some great stuff with somebody else. I'm going to be with Veronica this weekend for Mother's Day. I'm flying to Philadelphia Wednesday. So I'm really excited. And, it's just one of those things that we have to remember, that there's a lot of things going on in everybody's life. And when you're going through menopause, a lot of those things get really, really intense sometimes with our emotions, if our hormones are in imbalance. So let's just be kinder to each other. Let's just give some grace in situations, and let's get all these women that need help. Take that bottle of Somaderm, throw it in your purse, and put it on as many people as you can, because it's going to make a huge difference. Walking through the door, it's time to get everybody gelled up for sure.
Absolutely. We all want to embrace that journey. Because if you're a woman, you're going through it. Either you're coming up to it, or you're just beginning, or after. Even it's after, oh, I've been through it. No, you still have residual effects. So Lisa, would you like to tell us about what's going on tonight?
Yes, I would. First of all, we have Gel and Tell. It's coming up at 5 p.m. So just about an hour and a half away, Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be giving away free bottles. So if you purchase, then you get a buy one, get one free kind of situation going on. That's a really good deal, because it's like getting an extra $140 for free. And then we also have another call tomorrow night called Null Freedom. And it's basically how you can become a distributor, so that you can actually, refer this to friends and family and others that may need the product. And you can get referral fees, paid back to you for that, and get your product for free. So lots of good things happening. There was one last question that came in for Ellie, and then we'll close out. Ellie, James Keonis is listening in live on Facebook and texted me and asked me to ask you the question: what made you and Alexi want to even develop this product? We know it was made for fighters, but why would you develop such an amazing, we've talked about this product all throughout this Power Hour today with so many benefits. Why did
I'm going to give this one all to Alexi. His vision, being in the health and wellness business for as long as we've been in that space, there's mechanisms that really aid recovery, right? For athletes, branched chain aminos, proteins, glutamine, there's a variety of those type of constituents. But the problem is that it's more than just repair of muscles. There's ligaments, there's tendons, which are non-blood flowing parts that need growth hormone for mRNA collagen production, so ligaments can be better. You look at all the peptides in the world right now: BPC 157, CJC 1295, and you're seeing people going ballistic. Well, these are all particular chains of growth hormone, and which most people don't realize. And so growth hormone is used for so many repair mechanisms in our body. That's what led us down that pathway. The bonus came in when Alexi started formulating it with the botanicals and the glandulars in there too. That's where we really started seeing the benefit for women come about in this product, because the first rendition of this product was very crude. I mean, it felt like petroleum jelly. It really did. It's like melted cheese, right? And to apply that on your body was really just not the greatest experience. And then when he had the second iteration, he had developed the delivery system, Somatech, into this, and really fine-tune this into a product for both men and women to help facilitate hormonal recovery and balance. And that's the thing that we see. You know, as for looking at certain aspects of the product, they come inherent with the product. You know, the brain fog, the I guess the lubrication devices that work with synovial fluids in your joints. You know, people don't realize that those are all type of proteins that happen, and you need the master hormone to manufacture these proteins, right? And as we age, we get less and less and less of this. That's why muscle dwindles away, our bones shrink. We shrink in stature in general, right? And this is two things: gravity and hormones, right? I've just read a recent study the other day. The biggest problem with aging people is they don't keep their legs strong. Well, your legs are the foundation for your body, right? Literally, you're on your feet, which your legs support all day long. Right. And nobody thinks of this as they age, where you're getting that dwindling muscle mass, you get less protection for that bone structure, and you hear of all these hip fractures, leg fractures, you know, knees dislocating, and things like that. That happens due to lack of proper hormone production as you age. So these are the things that kind of brought it about. And now we've seen, like I said, over 10 million bottles sold in a 7-year period, which I don't think has ever been done by a company in the nutraceutical space.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I will leave you with, Lisa, think of this. We have pharmaceutical, we have nutraceutical. New Life has married the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The only company in the world that really has done it.
Yep.
Right? And so, of course, you're going to see results from that.
Yeah, that's very powerful. That reminds me of when products in the skincare industry are cosmeceuticals, kind of like a mix of the two. So yeah, very, very powerful. Thank you so much for answering that question. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Adios. I don't know. Dios te bendiga. Estoy aprendiendo español. Love you all.
I want to thank everybody. I want to remind everybody, same
Happy
place.
Mother's Day to all
Thank
those mothers
you.
out there. If I don't see you, I wish you guys the very best. You're the lifeline of the human, of human beings, really. So thank you guys so much for doing all your work.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here this evening, and we will meet you back here next week, same place, same time on Power Hour. With our next week's topic is mastery over menopause. It's taking control and empowering oneself. So we look forward to seeing everybody back here next week. Everybody have a fabulous evening, and we'll see you next on Gel and Tell. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Hasta luego.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.